Yo, what's good, YouTube? Today's video is gonna be a little different than the usual videos. It was actually an idea by one of my goated viewers, Nahom. Shout out to Nahom. I do wealthy phases every Wednesday where I talk about self-improvement. And if y'all want to see more of this, I would love to make more videos. I love talking about this subject, right? But today I'm gonna be talking about 6 books that have completely changed my life on everything I love. It's not even like, oh, they completely changed my mind. Why? Because everything starts in your brain. Everything begins with thought, right? So if you have any problems in life, the root of that problem is your brain, right? And how do you develop your brain is through reading, is through self-improvement, right? But anyways though, let's just get straight into it. The first book I would recommend to all of y'all, right? Whether you're a beginner in reading, whether you've never touched a book before, or you actually are into books. If you've never read Atomic Habits, I will, 100 billion% Atomic Habits. I will vouch for this book to the day I die, right? And why is that, you might ask? And I don't know if I'm gonna put this in order, by the way, but out of all the books, I think this gave me the best foundation. This is an amazing book, right? Why? Because I believe everything begins with habits. No matter what you're trying to do in life, right? And not everybody wants to be the richest person in the world. Not everybody wants to be a millionaire. Some people just want their little simple life. Going to work, you got your little house, you're in your little debt, you're paying your mortgage, and just living your life, right? But I'm saying this applies to anything in life. Whether you're trying to improve your relationships, whether you're trying to get somewhere in life, whether you're trying to... Anything begins with habits, right? The small habits that you think doesn't matter, build up. Whether it's bad habits or good habits. If you have a little bad habit you don't think matters, it will build up over time, and it's actually gonna have a very big impact on your life, right? So Atomic Habits is literally, it gives you the blueprint on how to build good habits and break bad habits. Bro, if you really think about it, right? It's like, if you have a book, if you have some sort of formula that tells you exactly how to develop good habits and how to break bad habits, what can stop you? You know everything you need to know at that point to achieve anything you want to achieve, because you have laid that foundation. Everything comes down to habits. You want to become successful in life, you want to become a great gamer. Simple as that, right? It comes down to the small daily habits of being in the lab and actually practicing, right? And let's say you have a bad habit of playing games that are actually distracting you from your real life things that you actually want to achieve. It tells you how to break those bad habits, right? But anyways though, let me go over the laws real quick, right? It's 4 laws, right? And like I said, the book breaks it down, right? By the way, the 4 laws is on how to build good habits, right? How to break bad habits, you just do the exact opposite. And I'm gonna give you an example, right? Okay, the first law, right, is make it obvious. What does this mean? Let's say you want to hop on the game more because you want to become a professional gamer. You put this controller right in front of you where it's visible, right? Because it's human nature. At the end of the day, if this was in your drawer, right, and you had to open up your drawer and get it, it's less obvious to do it, if that makes sense. So if you want to do something more, make it obvious, right? Make it right in front of you. And it's gonna complement the next law. But how are we gonna apply this law to breaking a bad habit? Make it not obvious, right? Let's say you don't want to start playing games. You put the controller away. Every time you're done playing games, you put the controller away, right? 'Cause that's making it less obvious. You're less likely gonna play it again, right? Okay, second law, right? Make it attractive. If you're trying to build a good habit, make it attractive. Meaning you build up a picture in your head where gamers are looked at in a good light, right? Oh, gamers are this. You highlight all the good things about gamers, which would kind of attract you to be to want to become a gamer, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's making it attractive. Where the exact opposite, to break a bad habit, make it not attractive, meaning you would look at gamers under a bad light. Meaning oh, gamers are nerds, gamers are lazy, gamers are this. That would make you less likely want a game because you're making it unattractive. You understand what I'm saying? Third law is make it easy. This kind of complements the first law, right? Make it obvious and make it easy. Make it obvious is putting it right in front of you. Making it easy is being able to easily access it. right? And this law would make more sense if I describe the bad habit, right? So let me describe the bad habit real quick. So if you're trying to break a bad habit, you're gonna make it not easy. What does that mean? Okay, let's say I'm done playing the game, right? And I wanna break a habit of like, I'm on the game too much, right? As soon as I finish playing the game, I'll put this controller downstairs. I'll unplug my PS5. I'll put the whole body of PS5 in the drawer. I'll put the wire in another room. I'll put the other wire in the other room. I have made it difficult. So next time I want to like play a game, I gotta get the controller from downstairs, get this from here, get the wire from the other room. I have made it difficult for me to play games, which automatically makes me less likely to play the game. I have caused friction between me and playing a game, right? Does that make sense? So it's making it difficult. Like if you want to break a bad habit, make that habit difficult, right? Where if you want to build a good habit, right? Let's say you want to start playing the game, make everything ready already. Like set it up for you. And I think a better example might be going to the gym, right? Make your gym clothes ready to go in the morning. Your shoes is right there. Like it's like you're removing as much friction as possible between you and that activity, so you're more likely to do it, right? And the last law that brings everything in full circle, right? Like, cause there's a habit circle, right? You do it. There's something that needs to bring it back to you in the beginning, cause you have to do this shit every single day, right? And that is making it satisfying, right? What does that mean? After you perform that good habit you want to perform, you make it satisfying. And a great way that I do this personally, right, is I reflect on my day. I read every single day, right? And it feels good to write down every single night, read book. I read my book. I read my book. I read my book. That is like, I'm making it satisfying for me to read my book because I'm tracking it. I'm tracking my progress, right? And it's like, at certain times, I almost read my book, so that night I didn't read my book. So I'm making it satisfying for me to read my book, if that makes sense, right? Exact opposite, make it not satisfying. Meaning if you had a bad habit of playing the game today, at night, you're gonna write down in your notes, right? I played the game when I was not supposed to. Now you're making it not satisfying to play your game because you're gonna have to hold yourself accountable every night. That's why I recommend tracking. Okay, we're done for Atomic Habits. Amazing, amazing book. Lays a great foundation. I really think you should check it out, right? Right. The second book is The Morning Miracle, and it really complements Atomic Habits, right? This is something I would tell you to read like back to back. They complement each other. I have two other books that complement each other as well, right? But this, The Morning Miracle, okay, so let me just read this to you. The 6 habits that will transform your life before 8 a.m. And what does this mean? Think of it as like a race. I always bring this analogy up, right? Let's say you're racing. What is one of the most important parts of the race? The beginning, how you take off, right? How you take off is one of the like most important part of the races if you know about racing, right? Look at your day in the same way. How you start your day is one of the most important parts of your day, if not the most important. I would argue that it's the most important. Okay, let's look at the average person in the United States. How do they wake up in the morning? Like, they have an alarm. They are waking up. They dread fucking waking up, right? They wake up, turn off their alarm, negative thoughts in their head. I want to go back to sleep. I don't want to do this shit. How do you think the day's gonna go when you have that attitude in the morning? That's the first thing you're thinking about in your head. Or even worse, most people when they wake up, they start scrolling on social media. Like, look at the start you're having. Think about it in a race, right? Think about your day as a race. You're having one of the worst starts. And now you have to spend the whole day catching up, right? But if you start off your day in a good way, imagine something that you wake up and you're actually excited because you feel like you're moving forward in life. But anyways though, let me touch on the 6 habits that I even personally do. So these are the 6 habits, right? First thing I do is I meditate, right? And the way I can describe meditation to you is shutting off everything for 5 minutes. You don't understand how hard it is. And like, it seems like it's easy where it's like, don't think about anything. But I don't know, like your mind moves 1,000,000 miles per hour, right? And like, ask yourself, are you able to focus on one thing right now if you wanted to? I still can't, right? But first thing I do in the morning is meditate for 5 minutes, and the goal is to shut everything down. Any adjustments you want to make in life, anything, you just leave it. You just drop it all for 5 minutes. You give your brain a break. Just everything is just quiet, shut down. Such a peaceful feeling, right? And then the next thing is affirmations, right? I do affirmations in the morning, every single morning. Affirmations can be literally anything you're trying to work on in life. If you want to become better in anything, you know what I'm saying? Affirmations really, really help, right? I like to give the simple example of ugly and beautiful, right? Let's say you look at yourself in the mirror every single day. I am ugly, and I'm ugly, I'm ugly. No matter what people tell you, once you start believing it, you'll start acting accordingly. What does that mean? You'll walk with your head down. You're less confident in yourself. You don't talk as confident, whatever the case might be. So affirmations can work with you or against you, right? That's not the dangerous part. The dangerous part is you'll start acting accordingly. We act with, according to our beliefs, right? It's like if you think you're an attractive person, you're gonna be confident. Why? Because you're acting accordingly. You're acting according to your beliefs. You feel me? But anyways, though, okay, that's the A part, right? And then lifesavers, remember, so S is silence, meditation, A is affirmations, and then V is visualization, right? I don't do this part in the morning because I think I do it throughout the day. Visualization is seeing yourself at the place you want to be. Let's say, like I said, you want to be rich, you want to have a mansion, and you want to have a Rolls Royce, whatever the case might be, right? You visualize yourself already there. If you do that every single day, you'll start to believe that you're going to be there. So that's the importance of visualization. Visualizing yourself already at the place you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the biggest things for success is belief in yourself. If you don't believe that you can make it, you're most likely not going to make it. The way you're going to believe in it is like literally asking yourself, right? Let's say I woke up in my mansion. What am I doing today? How am I going to brush my teeth? What's my bathroom going to look like? Making everything vivid, right? And then E is exercise. E's exercise. I don't do that in the morning because I go to the gym every day. I go to the gym after my morning routine, right? But the book recommends that you do some form of exercising because a lot of people don't exercise. That can be yoga, that can be a few jumping jacks, whatever the case might be, push-ups, anything. And then R is reading, right? I read in the morning. I read my Bible in the morning because I feel like I have a good foundation of reading my self-help books. So I read a total about like an hour a day, 30 minutes the Bible and the 30 minutes this, right? That should go without saying. I think reading is one of the best ways to learn about anything, right? If you listen to like audios, for example, or like audiobooks, you're doing other stuff, by the way. You do understand that, right? Like when you are listening to an audio, like you might be exercising, you might be cleaning, you're not fully focused. When you're reading, the only thing you're doing is reading. You're gonna like absorb information way better. You know what I'm saying? So reading is very important. So if you don't have already a good foundation built for reading books, I would recommend you to read books in the morning. I'd say, like I said, the Bible. And then he said he put S as scribbling, so it can actually fit as like lifesavers. But scribbling is journaling. Yeah. And then I journal every single morning, right? I journal about anything that's going on in my head, right? I think journaling is so important because thoughts are like temporary. They go all over the place, right? But when you put them down on paper, like they start to feel a lot better, right? So it's like if you're overthinking about something, when you write it down on paper, you start to think like, damn, this shit is not that bad. Like, and it's like, it feels so good, like expressing yourself writing too. It's like this shit is so, as I'm writing, I'm thinking like, bro, this is facts, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's very, very important. So just to wrap it up, imagine doing this every single morning. Imagine the way you're starting out your day. You're starting ahead of 95% of human beings in the US. 90%. The next book I want to touch on is How to Win Friends and Influence People, right? And the way I would describe this book is like, the importance of this book at least is you can't achieve anything in this world alone, right? We are put in this world to collaborate. One of the most important skill sets you can have in any line of career is communication skills, leadership skills, how to get along with people. The better you are at dealing with people, the more valuable you are. And that's just as simple as that, right? And this is the best book out there that talks about human relations and how to get better at it, right? How to win friends and influence people. It's like it's this top selling book alongside Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's one of the best selling self-help books, right? And one of the biggest lessons I took from this book, I'm such an argumentative person, and y'all know that, right? But the best way to win an argument is to not to argue at all, right? Why? Let's say I argued with you, right? And I won the argument. Did I really win? Your pride is hurt. Even if I prove something to you, you're not gonna come to my side because, like I said, your pride is hurt. You feel like you lost. You're not gonna collaborate with me. We're not gonna all be on the same page. Whereas if we never argued and we were on some like, hey, let's figure it out together. And I actually humbled myself in a way of like, I'm no smarter than you. This is what I know. What do you think? You could figure it out for yourself and think, oh, that's the right decision, and not feel like you lost. Now both of us won. I got you to come to my side, and you came to my side without your pride getting hurt. Do you see though? I never understood that before reading this book. The way I thought of it was like, hey, I need to argue and prove my point so you can come to my side. But it doesn't work like that because we have a thing called pride, right? And a lot of people recommend going back to this book every single year. That's how important it is because, like I said, no matter what you do in life, you will have to deal with human beings. The better you get at dealing with human beings, the more success you're gonna have in anything you do in life. It's a simple fact, right? The next book I want to touch on is Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich is an amazing book. And like the way I'll describe this book, right, is literally like the title, right? Think and Grow Rich, right? And I speak about this a lot, like if you had the option to work like a rich person or think like a rich person, which one would you pick, right? I think a lot of people would pick work like a rich person. A lot of people, like there's this idea that's being promoted out in the world, not only on social media, but out in the world, where it's like you need to work hard to get where you want to be, right? I think instead of a rich person, I think we should just use a person being overweight trying to lose weight, right? So would you rather work like a fit person or think like a fit person, right? So like I said, a lot of people would pick work like a fit person because they all think like, okay, I gotta work out good, blah, 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 right? But thinking like a fit person is much more beneficial. Why, you might be asking? Okay, let's go with the scenario of working like a fit person, right? Let's say you're going to the gym, you're eating healthy, right? Going to the gym, eating healthy, getting your sleep, getting your water, your hydration, whatever the case might be, right? And let's say you've been doing this like every single day, right? A few days later, it's gonna start to like, you're gonna feel a lot of friction. Why? Because you still think like an unhealthy person. So every time you go to the gym, you don't want to go to the gym because you think like an unhealthy person. Every time you're about to eat healthy, you don't want to eat healthy. You want to eat unhealthy because you think like an unhealthy person, right? So there's that friction. It's only a matter of time until you fold. But let's say you start thinking like a fit person, right? You would almost want to go to the gym because you would understand the importance of the gym, right? That like you put the gym at a high pedestal, right? Your beliefs on the gym is very, very like, it's a great belief, right? You have a great outlook on the gym, right? And it would attract you to go to the gym. Like you would want to go to the gym. Of course, nobody wants to go to the gym every single day, but like generally, right? You like the idea of the gym because you think like a fit person. So I hope that shows you how much more important it is to think like the person you want to become instead of working like the person you want to become. Because when you think like the person you want to become, you'll start working like the person you want to become because you'll act according to your beliefs. Does that make sense? Right? But there's 18 laws of success, and I think the most important is the two. And the two laws were like desire and faith, right? Like the third one is auto-suggestion, affirmations, right? Which would complement faith. So mind you, desire, a burning desire to be where you want to be. Meaning, I'm going to be there, I'm going to get there, I'm going to achieve it, or I'm going to die trying. Nothing can come in between me and where I want to be. It's a burning desire, right? Like, I don't, bro, you can come and tell me it's impossible. I can be trying, I can be knocking on the door for 15 years. I'm not going anywhere until you open this fucking door. When you have a mindset like that, what can stop you? Like, bro, it's not about like, are you gonna be successful? It's about when are you gonna be successful? Because you're not going anywhere until you're successful. You understand? Like, it's like when you have that type of mindset, when you have that type of mentality where it's like, bro, I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't care about like the odds. Oh, the odds of you making it is 0.1. I don't give a fuck. Bro, I want this shit so bad, and I don't care what it takes. I'ma get it. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care what it takes. I'ma get it. That's called a burning desire, right? And he gave a beautiful illustration, Napoleon Hill, where his son was born deaf, right? So when the doctor told him, your son is deaf, he simply did not accept it, right? And like, he almost beat nature, but because he had a burning desire, right? He researched and he talked to his son like he can listen, right? And there's times he wanted to give up, but he kept going. He kept putting his son in a position where like he's treating him somebody like he can listen, right? Till one day he grew up to be able to hear through some sort of technology, and now his son is going all over the world helping deaf people. Like, it takes a little, like, a different level of like, it's almost delusion, where it's like, as a doctor, I'm not a doctor, you're a doctor, you're telling me my son is deaf. I just don't believe you. I don't give a fuck. My son will hear one day. It's like that type of mentality. It just takes some sort of like insanity. It's called a burning desire, right? So that's the first law, the burning desire. The second law is belief, right? What backs up that burning desire? You can have that burning desire where it's like, I'm gonna make it no matter what, right? But do you believe you can make it? Because it's low-key useless that like, you're trying until you make it if you're low-key doubting yourself in your brain, right? So not only do you have to have a burning desire, meaning I'm not going to stop until I get where I want to be, but you also need to believe that you're going to be where you're going to be. Like I said, to be a Twitch partner, you're going to be like the top 0.03 point streamers, right? And it's like, to believe that you can be there, it takes some sort of delusion, bro. But I truly believe it. So I have the burning desire, and I truly believe I can get there. So not only do you need to have a burning desire, but you need to have full belief in yourself that you're gonna achieve what you want to achieve. And this book, it's called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, right? It's all in the brain. It all begins in the brain. Remember, right? Everything begins with thoughts. Thoughts lead to feelings. Feelings lead to actions, and actions lead to results, right? So if you're looking at your life result and you don't like what you're looking at, what should you fix? The root of the problem, which is your thought. Because if your thought changes, your feelings are going to change. If your feelings change, your actions are going to change. If your actions change, your results are going to change, right? The one thing that I really like this book is it talks about unlearning a lot. If you want to learn new things, you have to unlearn a lot of bad things that you've been taught, right? I think on average, our families, I don't know about y'all, I don't come from a wealthy family, right? My family is big on school. Go to school, get a safe job. That's what they tell me. Go to school, get a safe job. What are we taught in school, right? Don't cheat. In the real world, you have to cheat to win. You have to collaborate to win. But school tells us to not to collaborate, right? Be somewhere on time. The study methods. Making mistakes is bad. One of the most horrible lessons, right? In school, if you make mistakes, you get punished for it. But in real life, if you make mistakes, you get rewarded. By what? By the lesson that comes from that mistake. So it's like, all these things that we've been taught throughout our life, we need to unlearn it if we want to learn new things. We need to take out the bad roots if we want to plant new seeds. And I think this book really helps with that. It helps you unlearn from the many bad things you were taught as a kid, right? Or growing up, whatever the case might be. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I'm not going to touch on this much because, like I said, there's a lot of overlapping between this and Think and Grow Rich. All starts in the brain, right? That's 4 books. Last but not least, the famous book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Right? I would say this is one of the most enjoyable finance books I've read, right? Why? Because there's a storyline to this book. Where all these books, they do have some sort of storyline, but it's only in the beginning. But a lot of the books I touched on, it's about mindset, right? How do you start thinking the way you need to start thinking to get to where you want to be, right? It's a lot of like mindset stuff. But this actually talks about finances, being financially intelligent, right? So like I had to throw this book in because, like I said, it gives you such a great foundation about like assets and liabilities, cash flow, like just, you know what I'm saying, taxes, financial intelligence. Like I said, doesn't that guy have a lot of debt? Yeah, there's good debt and there's bad debt. That's what you're gonna learn also in this book. Like it's shaped, right? Like in the world we live in, schools and stuff like that, debt is put under a bad light. Why? Because everybody has bad debt, but Robert Kiyosaki has good debt, a lot of good debt, right? The simple way I can explain to you what good debt is, right? It's credit card, for example. Credit card. Let's say I have a credit card, you have a credit card. We have the same bank, same everything, right? Let's say I use my credit card for every single purchase and I pay on time. I'm benefiting. Why? Because I'm building a relationship with the bank, which is also called a credit score, right? I'm building my credit score and I'm getting cash back, right? I'm paying my shit on time. I've never touched my debit card, by the way. I never use my debit card. Every single thing I use a credit card, right? A quick tip, if you plan on getting a credit card, you got a credit card, you don't want to use more than 30% of your limit, right? Because you want to show the bank that you don't need to borrow their money, right? Because like credit card, when you use your credit card, you're using the bank's money and then you're paying it off. That's the whole idea, right? So it's like if I'm always using their money and always paying it off on time, they're starting to think, okay, this guy's reliable. I can give him more money. He's gonna pay it on time, right? But yeah, that's the difference between good debt and bad debt. Let's say you have the same credit card, right? But you're using it for dumb shit. Do you understand? There's people out here, right, that don't have $1,000 in their bank account. They don't have $1,000 in their bank account, but they will buy an item that costs $1,000 because I can use the bank's money. People are genuinely fucked in the brain. I genuinely can't comprehend that. You don't have the money, but you buy it because you can use your bank money, and now you're in credit card debt. One of the highest like interest rate. Anything that has the highest interest rate is credit card debt, right? So now you're in credit card debt. You're paying horrible debt, right? Okay, so the second example is like, bro, I don't have $1,000 in my bank account, but bro, I'm gonna use it still. I'm gonna still buy this $1,000 item, and I'm gonna think about how I'm gonna pay it off later. People genuinely think like that, right? So that's the difference between good debt and bad debt, right? And also, let's say you take out a loan to buy your own house. You're living in it. You're paying your mortgage every single month. Is that an asset? No. Why? It doesn't put money in your pocket. Robert Kiyosaki puts asset and liabilities in a very simple way, right? Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out your pocket, right? So if you have a house, it's not your asset, or at least not yet. You know what I'm saying? Because it's taking your money out your pocket every single month. Property tax, mortgage, all that, right? Utilities, right? But let's say I take out a loan, I buy a duplex. I live on one side, I rent out the other, right? Let's say my mortgage payment is $2,000, and the people over here pay $2,100 to live on that one side of the duplex. That's good debt. Why? Because I'm paying off what's it called? My mortgage with their money, and I have cash flow on top of that. I don't care how small the cash flow is, but it's passive income. I don't have to do anything throughout the whole month to earn that $100 every single month. They give me a $2,100. I pay off the $2,000 mortgage, and I keep the 100. right? And there's a thing called cash out refinance, where if your house appreciates in value, you can tell a bank, somebody from the bank, to evaluate your property, and they will loan you the money that your property is worth. Key term, tax free. That's how people like Donald Trump are billionaires but pay a few $100s in taxes. Right? As an employee, you pay 40% to 50% of your money to taxes. It's fucking mind blowing. But people just don't comprehend that. People don't care because that's just their normal. Everybody in their family works. Everybody around them works. It's normal. But imagine, like, you're working your ass off. 50% of your income goes to taxes every single year. I mean, so it talks about a lot of like finance stuff. Like I said, liability, asset, cash flow, balance sheet, expense, income, like just a lot of like financial stuff. And I'm currently rereading the book. I'm almost done. That's it. That's all the 5 books that have completely changed my life. On everything I love, they changed my life. I started reading literally January of last year, right? It's been a year and 6 months since I started reading. I've read every single day. Of course, I've missed a few days, but I read every single day for the most part, and I'm a whole different person. I think different. I move different. Like it's not the same. If you don't read, I would strongly recommend you to read. It's the best investment of your 30 minutes on everything I love. Like every single day, read 30 minutes. It will be the best investment of your 30 minutes, no matter what.